Whiteboarding Cowboy, and this back here is what's going to paint the picture. I'm going to captivate you with issues, topics, social interests, some not social interests. We need to really discuss some things. You know what? This morning somebody told me that I look like Hank Williams Jr. I don't think I do, but anyway, back on subject. What motivates me and drives me are things that people go through, the things that they don't go through, the things that are passionate, compassionate, and some idiotic people like these guys that want to pull people over because they got donut bellies hanging over their britches. Alright, so today's program is going to be very insightful, everybody. We're going to start with tickets. And I'm sure that a few of you have had one. But let me discuss something with you. I'm not talking about the ticket that you get when you go to the grocery store that says how much you bought. I'm not talking about the tickets that you go to Chuck E. Cheese with. Okay? I'm talking about the tickets you get from some knucklehead that all he does is he eats and drinks and sleeps and gives tickets out because he thinks he's God. They call him God, right? I'm God, I have a uniform on, and I'm going to pull you over, and I don't care if you can't feed your family. Or if you need to buy a present for your fiance. All I care about is I'm going to walk up to your car with an attitude problem, and I'm going to give you a ticket. Doesn't make any sense to me. You know what makes sense to me? Is that these guys might mind their own business and start chasing some doggone criminals. You know what? I'll tell you what, I got Western with it before. I've gotten Western with it before, doggone it. I might get on a doggone horse again and put my 6-shooter on my side and hunt criminals because these guys obviously don't know what they're doing. So, what we need to do is be more proactive on educating our police state. Because that's what we live in. That might be to give you a little bit of insight on the Whiteboarding Cowboy and his views on government, but we're not going to talk about government. We're going to talk about one little itty bitty thing, and that is our policemen and women pulling people over because they forgot to put their seatbelt on for 10 doggone seconds and giving them a $150 bill, which consequently they can't fight it just because they said so. So this is my solution to that problem. What I need you to do, everybody, is to carry you carry a box of donuts or a raw piece of meat. Actually, a raw piece of meat's the best thing you could probably do. And when he walks up to your doggone car, you open up your car window this far, and you toss the meat out onto the street, and you drive away. Because you know what? They're like ravenous dogs. And you know what ravenous dogs do? They gravitate towards that meat, that raw meat. I'm the Whiteboarding Cowboy. Okay? And I'm moseying on the way to work. I am going to work, minding my own doggone business. It's 65 degrees out this morning. And the guy comes and pulls me over because he thinks I'm not wearing a seatbelt. This highway patrolman pulls me over. Now, he didn't just pull me over. I'm trying to get in the doggone lane to get onto the interstate. And the next thing you know, I'm trying to get over the bridge so that we can get out of the way of traffic so nobody else can get hurt. Well, he's honking and laying on his doggone sirens because he's pretending to be God. He thinks there's some magic potion or some doggone pixie dust he's throwing at me to get me to stop. And then, so I stop right in the middle of the bridge where there's no other lane. I'm driving my big pickup, and he pulls me over in the middle, and he gets out the car. I roll the window down this far. You know why? Because I watch those YouTube videos, and they tell you what to do. You should take a look. You wouldn't roll your window down this far. And he said to me, "Sir, can you roll down your window?" And I said, "It is rolled down." And he said, "Can you please roll down your window?" And I said again, "Sir, my window is rolled down." And so this is what happens. And he says, "Do you have your license and insurance information?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I do." And I just sat there. And he said it again, and I said, yes, sir, I do. And he said, why don't you roll down your window? And I said, because it is rolled down. And so I went and I grabbed it, and I said, sir, hold on, let me unbuckle my seatbelt so I can go get the doggone thing in my glove box. So I do, and I get the information out the glove box, and I stick it through this little peephole. And he goes back to his police car. It's a good thing I didn't have my 6-shooter on me. And so he comes back, and he's looking underneath the pickup. He gets out the vehicle, and he's coming back, and I seen he's got the ticket. He's got the ticket in his hand, but he's looking underneath the pickup. Now, why are you looking underneath my pickup? I don't know if he's searching for drugs or unicorns, or I don't know. I have no idea. So the guy comes up to the window, and he says, sir, he says it again, I thought this guy must be deaf. Lord help him. If I knew sign language, I would have done it. And he said, sir, can you please roll down your window? And for the 20 millionth time I said, I've got it rolled down. Because you know what? I don't want this knucklehead crawling through my window. We live in a police state here. So here's this police officer, which might as well have pulled me out the vehicle and beat me to death. Whew, he would have had another thing coming. He didn't know he had pulled over the Whiteboarding Cowboy. So he goes and he says, well, this is a citation for the seatbelt thing, and you know, the click it and ticket thing. And I said, I don't know. I said, I don't have TV. You know, I didn't grow up with TV. We herd cattle and branded and cut the wheat and, you know, rode the tractor because she thinks it's sexy and all that good stuff. And so he gives me the ticket and he says, do you have any questions? And I said, I sure do. I said, how much is the ticket? He says it, and I said, my jaw just about hit the floor. I said, you got to be kidding. I said, there's starving people in the world. I said, what happened if I couldn't feed my kids because you're giving me a ticket? And so he gives me this ticket, and I asked him the question, and I said, where's your jurisdiction? And he didn't even know. I said, are you authorized to give me this ticket, sir? And he said, I think so. I took the ticket, and I looked at him, and I said, am I being detained, sir? And he said, no, you're not. And I said, good. And I started up my big pickup, and I drove off. I'm over it. That's it.